When you sell to a tax-exempt customer, we exempt the tax from the transaction. If you expect a transaction to be exempt, but we still added tax, you need to figure out why. First, check if the transaction is linked to the correct customer in your Avalara account. Here's how linking works. When your business application sends us a transaction, it includes a customer code. We check if the customer code matches a customer in your Avalara account. If the code matches an existing customer, and you have a valid exemption certificate for that customer, we apply the exemption to the transaction. Open the transaction to learn more. Under Additional Info, we tell you if we applied an exemption. Under Customer Info, we show the customer code that was included on the transaction. The next step is to find the customer in your Avalara account. Copy the customer code. Then go to your tax-exempt customers and search for the customer code. If no match is found, it could mean the customer hasn't been created in your Avalara account. If that's the case, you need to create the customer before you can add their exemption certificates. Another explanation is that there's an error in the customer code. Try variations to see if there are any potential matches. In this example, there's a customer code that has an extra 0 compared to the code from the transaction. Follow the customer code to see more details. Confirm this is the correct customer. You can update the customer code so that it matches the code used by your other business applications. Remember, the customer code used in your Avalara account must match the customer code on the transaction. Go back to your transaction to make sure the update resolved the issue. The tax amount hasn't changed. That's because, for the changes to take effect, you need to recalculate the tax. In this example, the change solved the problem. If correctly linking the customer didn't resolve your unexpected tax amount, it likely means there's an issue with the customer's exemption certificate. To learn more, watch our video on troubleshooting exemption certificates. Before you leave the page, you need to save the transaction. If you have multiple sales to the same customer, you have to recalculate the tax on each transaction. To do this, go to Transactions. Then filter by customer code. Select all of their transactions and choose Recalculate. The tax amount dropped to 0, meaning we applied the customer's exemption certificate to the transactions. Let's review. You identified the problem. You found the customer in your Avalara account. You updated their customer code. And then you recalculated tax on all your sales to that customer. Remember, when you recalculate taxes in your Avalara account, the updated tax amounts don't automatically flow back to your business application. Instead, you need to manually make the updates so that the tax amounts match. This important step makes it easier to reconcile your sales information each month.